When police officers entered the home, they were met with a gruesome scene unlike anything they had ever witnessed. A horrific stench filled the air, and the body of a young woman had literally sunk into a sofa. Her flesh rotted away to the bone while she was, for a time, still alive. Lacey Ellen Fletcher was born in 1985 in the small town of Slaughter, Louisiana. Located near Baton Rouge, Slaughter is a tiny town of only about 1,000 residents where everyone knows one another. In such places, nothing significant usually happens, but this case made the town infamous. Lacey was the only child of Sheila and Clay Fletcher. As a child, Lacey was diagnosed with autism, meaning she perceived the world differently than other children. She struggled with concentration and social interaction, and as she grew older, these challenges only intensified. It was difficult for her to study in a regular school, and she had very few friends. Despite this, she was always described as sweet, cheerful, kind, and quick to smile. She also loved sports and enjoyed being active near her home. Her parents were highly respected members of the community. Her mother, Sheila, had previously worked as an assistant to the prosecutor and later as an assistant to the mayor. Her father, Clay, worked for a nonprofit charitable organization helping people. They were religious members of the community, and no one could have predicted such a tragedy would occur within their family. At 2:30 in the morning on January 3rd, 2022, Sheila called 911 to report that her daughter was not breathing. When police and paramedics arrived, they discovered a shocking sight inside the home. Lacey's lifeless body was found on a leather sofa. She was nearly naked, and her body had sunk into the couch up to her shoulders, mired in her own excrement, urine, maggots, and bugs. Her body was covered in red spots and ulcers. The flesh had rotted to the bone and begun to decompose. She was slumped to her left side with her right hand near her neck. Her eyes and mouth were wide open, and her legs were crossed underneath her. The smell was unbearable. According to the parish coroner, it was the most horrific case he had seen in all his years of practice. An image so haunting he was unable to eat or sleep for a long time afterward. The father appeared completely emotionless, showing no reaction, while the mother attempted to portray regret, weeping over what had happened. The sofa sat against a wall. To its right was a gray dresser with a neatly folded stack of clothes. In front of the sofa stood a cluttered small black table covered in lotion bottles, talcum powder, wet wipes, nasal spray, and other miscellaneous items. Next to the sofa was a box of 9 DVDs. Evidently, Lacey watched movies they played for her. Rodent droppings were also found near the couch. Naturally, the first question was, how could the parents let this happen? Why didn't these seemingly decent, respectable people take care of their own daughter? It was incomprehensible how the parents could live in that house amidst such filth and unsanitary conditions. At 36 years old, the young woman was so emaciated she weighed only 66 pounds, approximately 30 kilograms. The autopsy revealed that Lacey had likely not moved from that sofa for about 12 years, as the skin on her back and buttocks had turned black. While she tested positive for COVID-19, that was not the cause of death. The pathologist determined the cause of death to be severe medical neglect, leading to malnutrition, starvation, immobility, acute ulcer formation, and osteomyelitis, a bone infection. A necrotic purulent process had begun in her bones, leading to sepsis. The pathologist ruled the death a homicide. It is estimated she died 24 to 48 hours before the 911 call. According to the parents, they had gone on a weekend trip a couple of days before her death and found her body upon their return. They claimed that Lacey's autism worsened and she developed Asperger's syndrome after the 9th grade, forcing them to isolate her and switch her to homeschooling. She vanished from public view. Neighbors had not seen her for 15 years. Some newer neighbors didn't even know the couple had a daughter. When acquaintances asked about her, the parents said she was ill and couldn't leave the house, claiming she had locked-in syndrome. This is a rare and severe neurological disorder characterized by total muscle paralysis except for the muscles that control eye movement. Patients are completely bedridden and dependent on caregivers while remaining fully conscious. However, there was no such diagnosis in Lacey's medical records, and it is unknown who supposedly diagnosed her. The last time she saw a doctor was at age 16 for anxiety. The family lived a secluded life, and since no one visited them over the years, no one knew what was happening to Lacey. After her death, her mother posted on social media, "Mom and Dad love you so much." 64-year-old Sheila and 65-year-old Clay Fletcher were arrested on May 2, 2022, and charged with second-degree murder. They pleaded not guilty, arguing that their daughter was an adult who made her own decisions and that they could not influence or intervene. They claimed she simply liked being a recluse, living on the sofa without getting up. They even alleged she refused to use the bathroom, choosing instead to relieve herself on towels near the sofa, which they claimed to clean. They insisted Lacey never complained of being unwell, so they never sought medical help. The mother claimed she helped treat the skin ulcers. These claims sounded local and implausible. The woman was starved and dying of sepsis. After previously claiming she was paralyzed, the parents shifted to saying she chose that life on the sofa. This went on for 12 years right in front of them, yet they did nothing. It also seems suspicious that Lacey died exactly when they went on vacation, or perhaps they went on vacation after she died. There was not a single record of the parents reaching out to medical professionals for help. Just 2 days after their arrest, on May 4th, 2022, the parents were released on $300,000 bond each. This decision sparked significant controversy. According to the district attorney, the parents had no prior criminal record, and the flight risk was minimal, so they were allowed to await trial in freedom. While Sheila and Clay portrayed themselves as grieving parents, the public did not believe them. Local residents were shocked and outraged by the parents' gross negligence. The couple's lawyer released a statement saying they did not want to relive the pain of losing a child through the media and thus would not give interviews. He stated they had endured much heartache over the years, adding that anyone who has lost a child knows what that is like. However, many questioned if this comparison was appropriate, given that Lacey's parents could have saved her if they had sought medical intervention. The prosecutor called the death a murder and demanded a full investigation, citing severe neglect. The legal system must now decide whether to classify the case as manslaughter, negligent homicide, or second-degree murder. Negligent homicide carries a sentence of up to 5 years, manslaughter up to 40 years, and second-degree murder carries life imprisonment without the possibility of parole. The prosecutor stated he would push for second-degree murder because the parents failed in their primary duty as caregivers. He remarked that we do not even treat animals with such neglect. If a pet were in that condition, we would take it to a vet. Yet this was a human being, their own daughter. The legal process is still ongoing. I will follow the progress of the trial and update you on the sentencing. If you found this video informative, please like, subscribe to the channel, and share your thoughts on this case in the comments. Thank you all, and goodbye.